Hey guys, your good old boy Mike here. I had a subscriber who was asking for an explanation on the gridex2 drill. I know there's a lot of talk going on around, as we've seen with every drill. Not every drill, but there's a startling amount of drills where there's an actual event that takes place pertaining to exactly what the drill was. So I told him that I would try to make a video. I'm still somewhat of an amateur when it comes to this, but I do feel that um, I put whatever I can in my own input into it. So hopefully this will help. Um, One thing I would definitely recommend is checking out this video by Herbalist J. Um, I saw that a couple days ago. It's very good. It had a lot to do with the gridex2. I'll play a little bit from that in a little bit, but first I'm going to get right into the nitty gritty here. This is an official page here, basically going over what gridex2 is. They did one in 2011. gridex2 is basically a simulated drill which FEMA takes part in, Homeland Security, all the same that are taking part in all the drills which end up becoming reality. Basically, they're checking the response and how they would handle complete blackout. And they're not talking like a blackout from having tree limbs fall, taking out power lines, or a hurricane or anything like that. They're talking about either being hacked. They're saying it's not EMP related. EMPs would actually fry the grid, the transformers, everything from cell phones to anything that ran on electricity, even if it was battery operated. So they're saying it's not pertaining to EMPs. Now, I don't know if American Blackout was the video. I think it was where they were talking. They actually showed where our government basically told anyone in any other nation how to attack us with an EMP. They told us exactly how to get away with it, where they could get by without our security measures being able to stop it. That was years ago, and that's startling stuff right there. So this is all the information they'd be getting out on what gridex2 has to do with. Here we go. Here's a little excerpt I found. This is another site. Heads up for the people who brought you 9/11, Aurora, Sandy Hook, and miscellaneous minor false flags. Huge electric grid failure drill scheduled for 13th to 14th November 2013. NERC will host gridex 2013, November 2013. North American wide distributed play exercise, executive policy trigger tabletop exercise, will simulate a knockout blow of the power grid. Basically, thousands of utility workers, business executives, National Guard officers, FBI, and terrorism experts, officials of the government agencies of the United States, Canada, and Mexico are preparing for an emergency drill in November. They'll simulate a physical attack or cyber attack that could take down large sections of the power grid. They will practice for a crisis unlike anything the real grid has ever seen. And more than 150 companies and organizations have signed up to participate. This is different from hurricanes. They had XYZ counties. They have lost power for 3 to 4 days. So this is just a little tidbit here that I pulled up. Here's another very in-depth article. I would recommend reading this. They have a very open-minded view on things, which is always good to have. Because like I said, I'm making this video. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen because you never know with them, but there's a high probability that it will. And there's something else I'm going to get into which plays a major factor in this, and that's going to be towards the end here. As worries over the power grid arise, drill will simulate a knockout blow. This is New York Times article, which was published back in August. This is one of the first articles they had. Sorry. This is actually right here. This is their little manual, and this was pertaining to their tabletop exercises. This was a conference that they had. This goes over key points. I'll I'll leave the links for this as well. Now, one thing I want to get into, actually, I said at the end, I'm going to get into it now. Something really kind of funny. Just because I was making this video, and this is just me speculating, but I'm making this video, and I'm going to go over something real quick with you. I'm gonna play a couple of minutes of this. I hope maybe I shouldn't. BP Earthwatch might, get bad, but he basically, I'll leave the link to this. He basically was talking about how a beta gamma delta spot just is turning into us in about a week to, around a week's time. We're going to be seeing this beta gamma delta spot also facing ison. Ison plays a huge factor in the potential for a serious solar flare, which could have the same effects as an EMP. And even if this thing pops off before, because it's going to be facing Earth any minute now, any day now, for that matter. And beta gamma delta spots are extremely large. They're it's as high as you go. Basically, they have the potential for the beta gamma, or I believe it was beta gamma, was what popped off the X flares that we had. But ison plays a huge role in this as well. The potential is there for solar activity to. They may know something is coming during that time frame, because it's kind of funny that during that time frame that's when ison's making its close approach to the sun, and that they could be doing this in preparation to save the grids. Who knows? It could be a way because they know what's about to go down. Cut off communication, make it so that people can't communicate, and therefore be able to band together and do what they can to save their families and save themselves. The world these days is an unsure world. It's not what it used to be, and gridex2 is, Boston bombings, there was a drill there. Aurora, there was a drill there. Sandy Hook, there was a drill there. 9/11, there was a drill there. I'm probably forgetting some here. Oklahoma, I believe there was a drill, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure I'm forgetting other drills where actual events have taken place. LAX, that's the newest showing of that, and that's basically what I know. You keep hearing about this. You're hearing about it because people are speculating. It's always good to be prepared. I mean, to live in constant fear is not to, nothing's going to be solved by that. The best thing to do is to become one with, yourself, become one with God, accept Jesus and God in your heart, and as long as you do that, it doesn't matter what happens on this plane, because once things happen, if you don't survive, then Jesus and God will take care of you, and they will protect you, and you won't have to go through this hell on earth that we're in these days, because I truly feel that's what it is. This is hell on earth. This is the age of evil. Evil is taking over the earth, and the worst part is there's so much good left on this earth, but they're all distracted and consumed by all the trickery that evil has played on them, and the manipulation that evil and the devil have played on them. But don't. The biggest point is not to fear this, because if gridex2 happens, and yes, it gets cold, during November, make sure you get some extra blankets. Make sure you have your stuff prepared, because there always is a possibility for this to happen. I actually have a wood stove in my home. I could have gotten rid of it. I don't use it all the time, but I always have wood, and I have a wood stove just to be safe. So if something happens. I live in the Northeast, so power goes out in the winter. We get a lot of snow. So the biggest thing is to be prepared. Make sure you have what you need. Things that you don't necessarily need electricity to eat. To I mean, the only crummy part is, and I know you want to take a hot shower, things like that, but see if you have a generator. If you don't have a generator, then you could always make a fire, heat up water, make sure you don't let it, put it right on you when it's hot. But you can take a bath that way, and clean yourselves and take care of your proper hygiene and whatnot. But just being prepared, making sure you have what you need. Don't fear this. If it happens, it happens. And what I have set in place, and I stress this to everybody, is I have a plan. It's the, shit hit the fan plan. And it has to do with my family, my kids. Everybody knows if something happens, what needs to be done. I got my buddies. And when it happens, we get what we need, and we all meet in a certain place, and nobody else knows where we're going, but we're going somewhere where we're safe, and we fortify, and we make sure that it don't matter who it is. We give everybody fair warning. But that's what you need is a plan. Get your family all set up on a plan. Something happens, something crazy happens. You know where you're gonna meet. You know what you're gonna do. You're gonna already have your bags ready. That's the main thing is preparedness. And like I said, I always suggest getting some of your buddies, your trustworthy buddies. The people who have real values and religious values, and you meet up together, and that way you have safety in numbers, and you can each watch each other's back and support each other. Those are my recommendations as far as the gridex2. There's a lot of really good videos out there, but you can watch all the videos in the world because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what tomorrow brings. We don't know what tonight brings. We don't know what a month from now brings. We don't know what happens in a year from now. My main thing is, I'll try to speculate, and I'll bring you the news as it happens, but we don't know what their plans are. I mean, unfortunately, whistleblowers are afraid to come forward these days because they're going to get either put in Guantanamo, they're going to get murdered, or they're just going to disappear. And the only thing we can do is, we're all brothers and sisters in this world. We were all created from God. Jesus died for us. He loved us, and He sacrificed Himself for us. We need to look out for each other, try to band together, and make sure we can get through these hard times, and do the best we can, and we need to resist the temptations, resist the deceiving that's going on, and the darkness, and we need to follow the light. I hope this helped. I know it probably wasn't. I don't know if it was what you were looking to hear. I put out the main important stuff, the possibilities. Power outage. That's the main possibility right there. By power outage, it could be an EMP attack. They could EMP us. They could say it was from the sun. Only time will tell. We won't know until we get there. But again, never hurts to be prepared. So get your stuff in order. In worst case scenario, if you have what you need, then and it don't happen, you already have what you need. That's the way I always look at it. So if you have any other questions, comments, I feel I didn't get in depth enough on it, or you want me to find something else out, I'll do my best to look it up for you. And God bless you all, and I love you guys.